Alright, hello, welcome back. My name is Goonsack Steve, and today is the day. The Prime 1 1/3 Jungle Hunter DX bonus version is finally here. And what felt like fucking forever. Reason I say that, I swear every fucking Australian got this probably about a month ago. Yeah, I was a bit salty this took so long, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I've got it, and to be honest, us Australians are very fucking lucky to have had it, purely because of all the battery laws that have kind of banned and run rampantly, destroying the statue game here in Australia. So between that and what's going to come after I film this review with the amount of editing I've got to do, because unlike most reviews, there is a lot more to this statue. Way more heads, way more hands, different accessories and bonuses. There's fucking 3 boxes, and the fact that the piece is so large, it's going to be a nightmare chroma keying this fucking video. So least you can do is like, because I do like to maintain the same look for all my videos, because to me, it's the type of video I'd like to watch if I was looking or waiting for a statue. It's very clean, it's very well lit, the audio's nice and crisp, and hopefully I'm not annoying, and that doesn't fucking ruin everything. So without further ado, let's get to the typical first stage of the review, which is the 3 boxes, and then obviously yada yada yada, we'll go statue, and then I'll probably do a little bit of a showcase of different poses at the very end. So as I said before, let's get on to those 3 boxes. Alright guys, here we have box 1 of 3. This one's kind of a little bit of a weird one, because of the fact that the base and all of its accessories, like the plants and I guess like some of the DX bonus items, are in box 1, which is why it's confusing, because obviously there's a lot of DX exclusive artwork on this box, which I imagine the normal versions have the same box order, so unless they completely change the artwork depending on the version you bought, not a clue. But yeah, it is a bit weird that this, like, as you guys can see as we round to the unmasked side of things, like you've got the semi-open portrait there, which is another DX version, and then obviously on the back you've got the Gort mask. But overall, really nice box. I love how they're kind of showcasing a lot of the different heads, and again you'll see even more of them as we go through the other 2 boxes, but really nice artwork. Very simple, stays into the themes of the movie, especially one of the boxes we will get to, which I believe is box 3 off memory. Absolutely nails the feel out of the movie. So box 1 contains all of the plants and the actual base, which weighs a shit ton. So I recommend opening it in order of 1, 2, 3, and I'll get into the contents of the other boxes in a minute. But some weird reason the instructions aren't in box 1, they're in box 3 for some stupid reason. So you basically got to almost assemble the entire statue willy-nilly, unless you got the space to open 3 humongous boxes. But without further ado, let's get to that second box, and I'll go through the contents of that one. Alright guys, here's the second of the boxes. As you guys can see, same sort of use of the pictures. Got the 2 biomasks there, as well as the semi-open head sculpt, Predator logo on the side, and this is probably my favorite art of the entire trio of boxes. Spitting image of the promo artwork or photo shoot that they did for the movie back in the day. All the lighting's the same original classic biomask and everything. It's absolutely awesome. In terms of what's in this box, you've pretty much got your torso and your legs, which I will add, are a fucking nightmare to get in. So I was lucky I had the missus to, again, help me get those in, because I couldn't imagine how much harder it's going to be by yourself. Also, again, got the extra hands, the spinal column. I think there might be a pair of hands which carries over to the third and last box. But again, really, really nice artwork. Got the Yautja language kind of going down those 3 lines there. And again, just a lot of artwork or actual prototype photos of the piece are used along the artwork. And again, very, very nice. Absolutely huge box as the first one. The third one that we're about to look at is the only one that is a little bit different in terms of its dimensions. But overall, again, really nice packaging. And I guess with that being said, let's get to the third and final box. Alright guys, here we have the third and final box. As said before, this one's pretty much the only one which is actually a little bit different in the sense of its dimensions. Same sort of design on the side panels, but it's very unique in the sense that it only shows the 2 different biomasks you get with this. You've then got the Gort, and then on the opposite side, you've got the original biomask. I think it's more based on the what they call the detailed version of the mask, because it doesn't look super smooth like it should in the movie, which you guys should be able to see here in a sec. It does, yeah, it definitely is based off the detailed version of that mask. So again, is the only one that is different in terms of its dimensions, and definitely in my opinion the biggest of the boxes. Even though it's a little less wide, it makes up for it in depth and height. In terms of what comes in this box, you've pretty much just got all the headstands and the actual the heads themselves, as well as just the actual tree stump which is on the base. So since we've now covered all 3 of the boxes, we will now go into the bit you've all been waiting to see, which is actually the statue itself. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, here he is in all of his glory. And as you guys can see, he is absolutely awesome. This guy, I think, might now be my favorite piece in the collection. The Sideshow life-size bust will kind of always have a special place in my heart sort of thing, but this guy is just that ridiculous awesome that you just don't really get very often, to be honest. Like, even the base riddled with real cool shit. There you have a python. Not really a python, but that's what I call it anyway, just because that's what it is. So here's a little bit of a sneak peek at the base, but I do want to kind of focus on the full statue first. So we'll kind of work our way up this leg. Here you have a little bit of a preview on Billy's skull. Absolutely awesome this is. It does appear a little bit red in the video, but it is a tad darker in person. I might get it repainted just to get that little bit more dark, but it is what it is. One thing I will give Prime One props on, they did listen. They added a bit of blood to the hand, which is awesome. A little bit of a gripe I had from the preview video. And as you guys can see, here's the full statue. Absolutely awesome. So we'll have a bit of a look at these biomask in that first. This is probably one of the most accurate Predator biomasks out there. Still not sure about the lenses. I do think they should be a tad more reflective, but they are very well done. They've got that wire mesh sort of look going on. This is the, just for those wondering, the props biomask. There is a quote-unquote detailed version, which comes with the deluxe edition, or bonus version or whatever, the DX bonus version. I think it comes with the normal DX, to be honest, but it is what it is. There's like 50 editions for this thing. That lights up with its tri-laser. Really cool. The plasma caster itself as well does light up, but I've got that turned off for the sake of the review and my editing, because that lights up blue and I'm having to use a blue screen for this video for obvious reasons. But yeah, so here he has all of his skull trophies. Got his necklace, which has all sorts of little stuff on it, and around the corner you've got all of his little bone trophies, which are absolutely very, very well done. Even got some quills on his stomach or chest, which is something, they are a little bit bendable, but something a lot of statue companies and even like suit companies that like do Predator cosplay suits miss. Even the one I'm getting from Scott Marshall / Reeve, it doesn't have the quills on there, so it's something I do want to add to my suit in the future. You can kind of see it here, which is another thing a lot of statue companies and suit makers miss, is this little bit of a green tinge on the armor. It's completely accurate to the movie, and it's absolutely awesome that Prime 1 took the time to get this right. To be honest, a lot of the shit on this statue is Die Hard Predator stuff. You're not really going to notice it unless you're really, 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 really into him. All of this feels like real leather. I'm not a damn clue if it is or not. I hope it is, just to save me having to deal with it in the future. All the netting, it's real netting. A lot better scaled compared to the quarter scale stuff. And there's a bit more of that green on the legs. So I do want to have a bit of a look at the base here, because the base is absolutely awesome. As you can see, got those fish. In all honesty, when I first saw this, I did not believe Prime 1 would keep these in there. They have, which is absolutely awesome. You've got the Max Scorpion, or I call it the Anytime Scorpion, there on the base as well. And then up the back, you've got Max Skull, which is a DX bonus item for those of us that wanted a bit more shit with this plentiful of shit statue. The tree up the back is very, very well done. I know people like Haunt of the Collector have been spoiled with the Lord of the Rings pieces with insanely well done trees by Weta Workshop. So he probably is a bit more knowledgeable on tree paint, but for a filthy casual like myself, I think this is plentiful for a Predator statue. The one thing I do agree on, which I'm trying to come up the back here, below their hand, the paint on these broken portions. Absolutely terrible. It's one thing that I do agree on when it comes to the tree paint. So I'll get a bit more of a 360 look on the base before we continue going on around this piece, because the base is absolutely awesome. So, as you guys can see, lots and lots of foliage. My partner and I spent, I reckon, a good 40-45 minutes doing all of this. It took a hell of a long time to pose and bend all these plants, because that was one thing that drove me nuts seeing people with this piece. Almost no one was spending the time to actually pose and do the plants properly. People just kind of sticking them up, and it looked horrible. So I did take the time to bend all of these and make them as natural looking as possible. We'll kind of pause here, or not pause, but just zoom in here so we can have a bit of a front look at that skull. Back down. Continue getting a look at this awesome, awesome base. What's that? Orbian. Absolutely awesome. Again, Max skull. Work our way up again. One thing I want to have a bit of a look at is the wrist gauntlet. That is, so it comes in a few different sizes. This one is the longest of the 3 normal wrist blades that you get. You do get in the DX bonus version the Super Ultra Wide Deluxe Kill Arnold Edition wrist blades, which were in the movie for like 2 seconds. Again, another hardcore bonus item. Basically just the scene where Dutch is climbing out of the water and the Predator traps Arnold with his wrist blades. Another awesome addition. All of this has been changed by Prime One in post-production. All of the designs in the wrist gauntlet to get even closer to the movie. So, without a doubt, the most film accurate Predator statue ever made. Here's another shot of those bandolier. Looks like you got a little saltwater crocodile, got some frog skulls, got heaps. So, we'll have a bit of a look at this hand. This is the one with the Jim Hopper dog tags. Wants to focus. So yeah, as you can see, even the dog tags are properly done. Very, very cool detail. But another real cool bonus item for us hardcores are these hands. As a Predator cosplayer myself, it is impossible to close your thumb in a proper fist. So all the actors have to basically do that, or like some sort of version of closed fist like that with a thumb poking up. It's a very cool little addition that Prime One have added, and again, it's perfect hand for something like this where I've displayed the dog tags as if he's just ripped them off one of the bodies. Wow, this is absolutely awesome, this statue. I imagine that there will probably be the thumbnail shot if I had to guess. But yeah, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to, I guess, go through all the different pieces, such as the 3 additional heads, the different biomasks and all that sort of thing, and then we'll like switch out hands and all that sort of stuff. Pretty much just go through all the different switch out parts, because there are a fuck ton with this statue. It is a crazy detailed statue with many moving parts. So what I'm going to do, I'll show all those like kind of separately sort of thing, and then at the end we'll have a bit of a showcase sort of video with just different pieces and all of that sort of stuff. Without further ado, let's first show off the heads, just on their separate stands, and then from there we'll do the hands and then the showcase. So let's get to those heads, shall we? Alright guys, here we have the other 3 portraits, the headstands, and these other 3, especially the unmasked heads, are gorgeous. They do have quite a bit of weight to them, I'd say they're probably anywhere between that 4 to 5 kilo range, which in retrospect I believe is about that. I think it's about that 15 or so pounds for each sort of head. So, as you guys can see, these unmasked portraits are absolutely awesome. The amount of detail on them for a mass-produced piece is insane. Obviously, still quite a bit of decal work, mostly just the blacks, but there is quite a bit of... I'd be pretty hard-pressed to not think that a lot of this brown is actually airbrushed on. Really, really nice. Even the eyes are really well painted. For decals, that is. I'm pretty sure they're decals. But again, really, really nice. Fully translucent teeth. I notice a lot of them, the heads have this sort of black sort of teeth stuff going on. The two top teeth are a bit dark on this particular portrait, but the rest are completely fine, whereas there are statues that have that sort of dark look going on all of the teeth, which would be a bit annoying. But again, so that one's kind of more like the Stan Winston Studios sideshow bust, very reminiscent of that, which there is a review on my channel you guys can check out to see how close it is. But again, isn't the most film accurate, but is an iconic look nevertheless. So we'll continue going around, looking at the other portraits. They will be in the showcase in the end, in the sense of like people being able to see what it looks like on the statue. But in terms of like real close-up sort of stuff, I'm just going to leave it as the headstands. And I'll give you guys a first proper look at a close-up unmasked head when we have the closed mouth bust turn up in a few months. Again, hopefully nowhere near as delayed as this guy, because I would like to get that review up as soon as possible. So here is, in my opinion, the most accurate of the unmasked heads. I know a lot of people were whinging and complaining about this when the pictures and obviously the reveal video went live, saying that, oh, this isn't, like, this looks weird, like we want a closed mouth. But in all honesty, if you're a die-hard Predator fan, you know that this is easily the most accurate of the heads that come with the statue. It's absolutely amazing. It's my preferred unmasked portrait. That is until the closed mouth comes in, because I do think the closed mouth trumps this even again. Again, like, look at all of the vein work inside that mouth. Absolutely awesome. You can't tell me that that right there not look straight out of the movie. It is awesomely, awesomely done. But yeah, it is crazy, crazy good. Does look a little off in the sense of if you do look at it straight on, because that typically isn't a look we get in the film, in the sense of it being absolutely perfectly straight on. Typically it's more of like a down or side look, like especially when you look at it from the side, like that looks spot on to the movie. And again, same sort of thing with this side. It's awesome. So I'll continue around to the Gort biomask. This one seems to get the least amount of love, purely because it's a kind of just a bonus sort of thing. But as you guys can see there on that close, or the head we just looked at, awesomely done. It looks awesome from the side, much better than the open mouth one that a lot of people seem to prefer. So here is the Gort, or the Guardian bio, depending on which film you're talking about. It's known as Guardian from Predator 2, whereas its original name was the Gort biomask. I guess it didn't really have an original name because it was actually the original mask that was going to be used in the film. But Stan Winston and the team decided that it did reveal a little too much about the facial design underneath the mask. So they decided to go for the more smooth and iconic look that we know of today. One thing I really like about this mask is the lenses. I do feel like they're a little bit better done on this than they are in the main statue. Really, really well done. Again, I do believe this is easily the most underappreciated mask or head sculpt in all of these. But yeah, it is really, really well done. So we'll continue around now to the hair. So one thing I want to kind of look at here, which I'll kind of pause between these two heads, is the dreads. So there are, or there at least is, as far as I know of, one video done by Flankster, where obviously he was demolishing one of his faulty heads, and he did, before he did that, tripose these. These are very, very pliable. Even like without doing anything to them, there is quite a bit of move and flex to them. I don't know if I'll go through the extent of bothering changing any of the hair, but there is an option if people wish to do so. I know some of these all kind of have different threads and that going on. Like they're all kind of differently positioned, which makes getting some of the heads on a bit annoying, but nevertheless, really, really well done. Or I do think there are one or two little clumps of 2 or 3 dreads together, but for the most part, they're all individually done. Which again, the fact that they are that little bit bendable, the fact that there's no dread breakages or anything along those lines is really, really cool. So again, we'll kind of have another look around on these. I'll kind of just get up there close just so everyone can see how well these are done. And I remember seeing photos, especially in person, and I know people are going to be like, oh, well, we haven't seen the other one in person. These shit all over the Big Game Hunter, which came out about a year and a bit ago. Like, it's laughable at how much better these are, and it honestly drives me nuts that anybody defends Prime 1 when it comes to that statue on the bait and switch they did. And I can promise you they did that because this guy was coming out to try justify people owning both. But I can promise you now, if this 1/3 wasn't a thing, they would have actually put some effort into that quarter scale Big Game Hunter, because that was an amazing, amazing piece when it was shown off. But in my opinion, Prime 1 majorly dropped the ball in the sense of that coming out and what it looked like. It was shockingly bad, and I know there are people out there that like it, and I guess justify their own purchases, and each to their own. The pose and all the switch outs are amazing on it. I do think it's a really, really well done piece for the most part. Sculpt is amazing, all that sort of stuff. But I just can't get over that bait and switch. Like, I had to cancel mine, and about a month or 2 after I cancelled, this was revealed, and I couldn't have been happier that I did. But again, yeah, that absolutely abysmal skin paint job that they did was really, really annoying, because you look at this versus videos, I'm sure you can find plenty of them online, of the Big Game Hunter. It's night and day on how much better the decal work and paint job on these are. So that being said, we'll get on to the next batch of stuff, which I believe will be the hands, and maybe some other accessories. I don't know exactly how I'm going to go about doing the next few batches of things, but we'll see how we go. So without further ado, let's get to the next batch of stuff. Alright guys, here we have the hands that weren't featured on the statue earlier in the video. So I'll quickly do a little look over, especially these open hand ones, because I actually didn't display this at all on the actual statue. I'm sure I'll switch some of these out, so again, it's worth having a look at them because they are all very, very well done. Again, these did go through a bit of a design change from the very, very first video that we saw of it in the reveal. A little bit of a design change to get a bit more accurate hands. Other one. Again, both the left and right hands are actually different sculpts. They're not just flipped. There's the other one that, again, is a bit more accurate to the actual suit for the opposite arm. I believe is what's holding the skull as of right now. These are just very basic, like closed fists. These are probably the only ones I will never use because I'd never use those over this one here. Again, that just looks so much nicer. And again, way more accurate to the movie. There's the final one there. Again, all very, very well done. I've pretty much got the two hands on there that I really, really like, which are one of the suit accurate hands and the spine. I'm sure I'll take the spine on and off and probably flip it out with one of the open hands. But again, all very, very well done. So now we'll move on to the final stuff, which is really just the wrist blades and the deactivated plasma caster. Alright, here's the other accessories that, so stuff like wrist blades and the deactivated plasma caster. I've also decided to include the detailed version of the biomask, purely because very minimally noticeable in the last showcase portion of the video. Again, I've just kind of got the statue there of the different heads, just so you can see the full thing. And it's not super noticeable, the change from the props bio to the detailed one, so I thought I'd just include it here. So these are the wrist blades that I was talking about earlier, what I call the Kill Arnold edition wrist blades. They are absolutely huge. They're the mediums. The long ones are pretty much only 2/3 of what you see up the top. So there's a lot more on there. It makes the statue look bloody crazy. But I do get the appeal of it to some people. I'll grab the detailed biomask just so people can have a bit better of a look. So again, this one lights up, which I'll activate now, and once I work out, there we go. That one does light up, exact same as the props one. Does look really well done. Obviously, I just strive a bit more for that film accurate sort of stuff. I'm not entirely sure what the wire's for, which travels there. I think it's mainly just so it looks like he's actually plugged into some, because the life of me can't work out where that goes. But yeah, very, very well done. Back. So, and then here is the 3 wrist blades. Hoping the green screen doesn't absolutely maul them, in the sense of having a bit of a green reflection on them. I imagine that's going to be a bit of an issue trying to chroma key all this shit. But again, all very, very well done. So you got basically closed, medium, the longs which are on the statue, and then the deactivated plasma caster, which does light up. Does light up. Very, very cool. Bit gimmicky having the light up plasma caster, so I tend to not really display it, but again, it's cool for people that wish to have it turned on. So that pretty much covers all the accessories. There are some nameplates, but again, not much to look at in terms of those. So yeah, so pretty much I'm going to wrap the video up with the showcase, which will just be 360 view of the statue with the different heads on. The next video that will come for this statue will be covering the closed mouth bust and the battle damage mask bust, both which I have on pre-order. Again, hopefully it's not as delayed as it was with the statue, me getting it from this reseller, but again, I haven't really got much of a choice if I want them, because Prime One doesn't want to do anything in relation to the battery laws in Australia. So it's pretty much just through all the Australian customers. And yeah, so again, awesome statue. We're going to finish off with this showcase. Yeah, so let's have a bit of a look at that and say our goodbyes. Alright guys, here we have the showcase. As I said before, we're just going to stick to having the different heads on the statue. There's just way too much stuff to do a full showcase of all the different parts on the actual statue itself. So what I'm going to do is, again, just show you the different heads on the full statue, and yeah, leave it at that. I will be covering especially an unmasked head in my closed mouth bust video. That we will have a much clearer and up close and personal look of a unmasked sculpt on the full statue when that video comes around. I also do have the battle damage bust, which I will do a video on as well. Again, any particular things you want me to really focus on in those videos that you might have think that I've missed and you want to have a bit better of a look at, let me know and I'll try add those to those videos. So just chuck a little comment down below and we'll get to them in those. But yeah, again, thank you all for watching. A shit ton of effort goes into these reviews, especially this one in particular, since there's so many different parts and different takes and all that sort of stuff that I had to do. The amount of, again, even just assembling and disassembling the statue takes a fucking while. So again, much appreciate all the support, especially those that have been bugging me for the review. I hear you. I'm sorry it took so long. Nothing I could do in the sense of the reseller just taking their sweet ass time. But again, I appreciate your guys, especially your support, especially just due to the fact that, again, it motivates me to know that there are people out there that really enjoy my thoughts and want to hear what I have to say about these things. So again, much appreciated to all of you, and I'll see you in the next videos. Peace, guys.